What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another Market Watch. I'm sorry if you just watched this in silence. I accidentally uploaded it without volume. I wasn't looking at the mic settings and I had it turned off from last night. But here we have a huge announcement. Myself, DZ, Simo, and Billy Break will be doing a table talk before YCS Dallas. You can thank the live stream for that. And the series will return regularly with me and Billy picking bulk, and so it's really cool. It's kind of a visual with a podcast, and we'll have on other tubers such as Simo, Yugi Nono, Farfa, Robbie Cole, DZ, like tons of other guests for you guys. Even Davinator and Phoenix Flare X will be there. It's gonna be crazy. We have so many guests lined up, and it's gonna just be awesome to have the podcast back. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But first thing of note, on the Silent Market Watch, there was one for $22. It's already gone. There was only one of that playmat. And then I think we see, two here available at the 28 range before there's two available at the 33 range. This playmat's going up because, hey, doesn't want to play spirals on a spiral playmat. It actually looks really cool. You've got Super Agent, Quick Fix, and Master Plan. 3 cards you actually play. I'm sorry if you're a Spy Gal player, but she's probably not in most decks, and tough appears 1-0, I think, for most people. So realistically, it's a really nicely designed mat. I'm lucky enough that Billy brought one home and I'm able to have an extra. But this playmat, it's pretty darn cool for a rubber mat. And it is going out. You see a lot of people watching this one, 46 sold here. But again, there's going to be people with a lot of them. I know one person who has 15 of these that they brought home from Nationals. People were, draping themselves over them, making outfits out of them. It's an interesting playmat. Next we go to Infernoid Decatron, being $8.80 up versus its market price. Don't worry, over here on eBay, it's $5.80. $6 near mint. Again, that's still up versus its market price. Why is this happening? Well, the OCG has a pie chart from last week where 92+% of the tops were spirals. The rest of the tops were all Infernoids. I believe the Fire King Avatar Ganesha, I don't know what it's called in the TCG, but the Elephant Fire King that just came out gives a huge boost to this deck. And then other people, of course, are finding different ways to play the deck. It definitely helps stand up to spirals. It has a lot going for it. But again, it's a deck that is taking a very low percent of their top still. Spiral seems to be dominant. And of course the TCG will be completely different. We have a different ban list. We still have Masterpiece running around. There's no telling what the other meta besides spirals will be as they're dropping. So let's look forward to YCS Dallas. I heard Infernoids once won that event, but we'll see what happens at YCS Dallas with our rogue options. And I don't know that it'll be Infernoids, but it should be interesting to see. I don't know what this tab is next that I'm opening, so I'm gonna take a look. It's just the Infernoids again. All right, so next we go into Ebon Illusion Magician. It has been bought out to a ridiculous point. You see the market price at $6.50. I think it was actually not quite there yet. Yeah, it's at $8.45. Somebody messaged me and told me all theirs got bought out and to take a look. Well, we also see the ultra rare. Last night it was at the same price as the supers, around the 8s, I think. It was down from its market price a little bit, and now it doesn't exist before 20 and 21. Oh man, and we come over to eBay. The lowest is $8, I believe. A lot of these are best match on accident. I'm sorry for that. I had to redo all the tabs really quick because I uploaded that bad market watch. So we have $8, $8 for the supers. Let's go ahead and look at the ultra on eBay as well. It's a lot cheaper than TCG Player. Here we have 14. You actually have the right version, Zangoose. Oh, good for you. You make me angry later in the market watch. But $15 lowest by Zangoose. Hey, that's pretty good compared to 20, but if you want the ultra version to look nice with your Dark Magician deck, there it is. So that's pretty much why it's up. The Dark Magician deck is now available to pretty much everybody. The legendary decks got bought out, and I believe this is one of the missing pieces now to it, and it hadn't been reprinted in a little bit over a year in the special editions. everybody wants to play with Yugi's Dark Magician and then actually make it kind of competitive, it would seem. So that's kind of the reasoning for Ebon Illusion Magician being up where it's at. Next up, we have Psyframe Gear Gamma. It has spiked all the way to $18 on TCG Player. Now, fret not, it's still closer to its market price where it was $15 over on eBay, but usually eBay ends up following TCG Player. So could we see it start to go up? Maybe. We have sellers that seem to have sold a lot. Let's see. Only 3 available from this seller though. That's one playset, and there's a playset a little bit under the 15 mark as well here. So eBay seems the place to get gammas. Do keep in mind you're playing a Psyframe driver, kind of a Garnet with your Psyframe Gear Gamma, and that kind of hurts it just a bit. That's why I personally also suggest Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, but for Infernoids, you kind of naturally clear your monsters off the field all the time, and if you get rid of one of the big ones, you've already negated one thing, Psyframe Gear Gamma negates the next thing. It seems like it's about to be your turn when that happens. But Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries kind of handles Double Helix altogether. We don't have that new Link structure deck to be even bigger, and we don't have, what's it called? We don't have, you know, the Link Karibo as well. So Cherries kind of hits Double Helix, which does a lot more for the TCG than it does for the OCG. And we see it over here, still holding about 20 for the Shining Victories version. And we see it 14 lowest on eBay, which is a little more expensive versus the 13. And we'll check SHVI. Oops, we have an E there. Shining Victories is at, let's type E in also. My bad. A 19, so a little bit cheaper for a first ed version if you want the original, if that's very important to you. Prohibition is up mainly because of Market Watch for the secret rare. It was already up, we pointed out, to 20 for the supers, and it was a $1.50 secret. And it's pretty much bought out on the near mint, with the damaged ones still sitting here very cheap. I predict it'll fall back down to 5, maybe 7 max over time. The common version is still readily available and cheap. It's non-existent on eBay also, with just this listing at 20 for 3, which is lower than the $7 mark already for each, which is pretty nice. But I predict the fallout on the market, it'll be 5 to 7, probably 5. If you, it's the other hollow version, it does look very nice. And we've seen Legendary Collection Yu-Gi World Supers kind of be up there as, I don't have my tab open for this, it seems. I had closed all my tabs after Market Watch. Machine Duplication Super is about $10 on both platforms. I know it's $9 on eBay right now, and we see here the lowest is going to be $10. So Legendary Collection cards tend to get bought out and go up over time, especially when they find relevance. Now, for you Pendulum players out there, there's a much better card, in my opinion, for you guys. Sideblocker does what Prohibition does, but better. You get to change the name every single turn that Sideblocker lives. It's not getting destroyed by Cosmic Cyclone. And the reason Prohibition's good is you call Spiral Super Agent, and Double Helix also counts as that. Sideblocker does the exact same darn thing, and doesn't necessarily have to call it if you want to go with something else, because let's say you have Cherries in your hand, you can call something else like Firewall Dragon and then Cherries the Double Helix should you want, depending on your hand. But with Pendulum Magicians, you're able to just put the level 4 body on board after you make your plays, or you can normal summon it at worst. So I think for the Pendulum Magician players, and for most formats that we see, this card ends up being better, and it's only $5 for the secret with a 36-cent option on the common. You don't believe me? There's budget options left on Prohibition over here. Let's go look really quick at the commons. The commons, 45 cents. This should only make you angry reacts if you really love hollowing out your deck and plan to play Prohibition, which it was $1. It was $1. So you can't be too mad when you still got 45 cents of versions available. But side blocker, definitely something that I would be looking at for as a Pendulum Duelist right before Dallas, if you were considering Prohibition. Firewall Dragons back up to $40. Wow, that's pretty big. Trickstar Reincarnation down to $16.50, cheapest. It's actually cheaper than it is on eBay, with this being light play, and the next lowest being, I believe, $18.50-ish or $17.50-ish. Sorry again for my tabs being out of whack. I mis-uploaded, guys. Yeah, $17.85 here is the actual cheapest near mint on eBay. So again, it keeps falling. Draw and Lock is really proving itself as a hand trap in this format. Oh, you're gonna activate Quick Fix. I'm gonna go ahead and activate my Draw and Lock now. Do you want to go ahead and machine dupe? Like, Draw and Lock really is a huge stopper, so it's kind of surprising to see this on its own go down. You could probably tech the Trickstar engine to try to wipe a whole hand instead of stopping turns, but I guess stopping the turn is just enough, and having the rest of your cards to concentrate on taking them down is what more people like to go with. So we'll see that continue to be a thing in our format. I believe Draw and Lock Bird Spellbook of Knowledge is way up to 16 now. It had been sitting at 15, but overall it's just been increasing despite the special edition, and that's pretty darn cool that people recognize the value of this engine and how good it is. And Ningirsu, he is down under the $8 mark. He's kind of the Ignister of the Link Worlds, and you have combos to make him with Scapegoat and to get his effect. I think personally he's really, really good. So I might start to consider getting these, because he's not going to receive a reprint probably until sometime late next year towards Megaton season. Firewall is actually more expensive on eBay, by the way. I believe the low is 42 over here. Yeah, there's the lowest buy now. The rest are auctions. Next we go into tokens, which I thought was really cool to find out what some of these tokens are worth. The Rabiel token sitting at $7 is very interesting to me. It actually was bought out to the point that it was $17, but its market price is $7, and there's actually prices under it. It's just something interesting that if you find in bulk, you could probably sell to a vendor for $4. I imagine the sales rate on these are very, very low though, but it's just a cool card that I didn't know was money. And we come over to eBay. It's actually non-existent on eBay. I typed Rabiel token as well. Outside the foreign sellers, it's non-existent. So you can be one of the first US sellers, if you have them, to go ahead and list them on eBay and kind of set your price there, but be reasonable. Don't be a jackass. And all the GOAT tokens are kind of up there, but one token I found interesting is Grinder Golem. There's no near mint copies on TCG Player, and there's only one near mint copy on all of eBay from Canada for $4. So if you want to list Grinder Golem tokens, if you found them in bulk, if you have them in bulk, and you're not playing Grinder Golem for the memes, I'm sure there's some duelists out there who would love to have access to these and would find it very, very nice of you to list them somewhat low. Maybe like $3 for your find from your bulk. You know, turning a penny into $3, that's pretty darn good. So thanks for watching this market watch. I know it was kind of more scatterbrained. I'm sorry that I did a upload without sound. It happens. I apologize for that mishap, but again, we've got a crazy day on the market. Decatron being up from where it is. We've got Ebon Illusion Magician spiking. Gamma continuing to go up, but again, you have a cheaper platform for it. It's just crazy out here. And again, I know I'll own up. Market Watch, both Robbie and I featured Prohibition super going up, and then I pointed at the secret. It happens. Market Watch is going to cause a price spike here and there because people see a card and they want a hollow version, not just the money. But there's the budget version easily and readily available by Epic Cards and Games. Hey, that's from my area. And again, it's not the most expensive thing in the world, but I personally, if you want a hollowed out version of a card that's hard to get from STBL and you're a Pendulum Duelist, get the side blocker over the Prohibition, ladies and gents.